All right, it's more people in here that can make a little bit more noise than that, so I'm going to ask it one more time, give you a chance to rev your engines a little. How is everyone feeling? All right, that sounds more like a tap yard Raleigh crowd. All right, I am back on stage just for a bit. I really didn't want to interrupt the music because they already got interrupted once, but I decided I want to do what I do best, and that's ask people questions, right? Because you guys don't need to hear from me. This is the end of the hour right now, right? Is his mic on? Is that mic on?
I think so.
Oh, there we go. All right, Chris. First of all, amazing first set.
Thank you.
Amazing. My first question for you, after just sitting here and listening, my first time hearing you, when did you know that music was like the heartbeat of your life?
The heartbeat of my life. Can I use that as like a tag on my stuff?
Absolutely. Feel it.
That's so beautiful. So I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when I was 4, and that's when I started singing. So the same time I got my diagnosis is when it really sort of filled my soul, and now it's all I want to do.
And I have chills hearing that answer. And so for you, talk more about the diagnosis. I think people sometimes don't know your whole story, which makes life interesting. Tell me about that. You were 4 years old. Do you remember that day, that moment, that time in your life?
So I remember it vaguely. The great thing about being 4 years old is you don't like listening to adults.
Yeah.
At that time, I think that really served me well. But basically, for people who don't know, cerebral palsy is a condition where your brain and other parts of your body just don't get along. They like to fight. But it's really been a blessing since day one. I think that it fuels this beautiful lens that I get to view my life through. And music is just the megaphone with which I share that lens and how I view the world. Because I really do think the opportunity to live and to perform is really beautiful. I mean, the chances of us being born are infinitesimally small. And I've always felt that regardless of that, it's just such an incredible blink of an eye. And you got to use that blink to the best of your ability. So
You're blinking less tonight. It was really, really a blessing to be here and to be under your voice. When did you decide to share your voice with the world and not just keep it maybe in the four walls of your bedroom or in your home and say, hey, I think other people will like this?
My mother signed me up for a Christmas pageant when I was 4, and
thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Mom. Had me singing Frosty the Snowman in front of my first crowd.
Okay.
And luckily it went really well. But actually, I didn't start playing guitar until I was in college. And a friend of mine who really believed in my potential signed me up for a college talent show without telling me.
Nice.
And I had only written one song at the time, but they threw me up on stage, and honestly, it was a gig a little bit like this, except for the gig was, at that time, we were raising money for Habitat for Humanity, which is another thing near and dear to my heart. But they threw me up on stage, and I played that song, and then he pulled me aside and said, you know, your songwriting, I think you got something there, is how he put it. And he went on to be a really an incredibly talented and very successful producer. So he knew what he was talking about. And anyway, from that moment on, I decided this was the path I wanted to take.
Love that. I know that we're gathered here tonight for InterAct to raise money and awareness for what they do, domestic violence, sexual assault. And as a person yourself who's undergone some struggle in life, it hasn't always been easy for you. What's your advice for people who do find themselves in trouble, but know that there's groups like this that are there to help them?
Well, so this is the thing. This is where I'm going to get a little cliche, but just because it's cliche doesn't mean it's not true.
Right.
And I shared a little bit about this earlier on, is that no matter how alone you feel, you're not. You're not. And it's really, really easy to get sort of weighed down by the moment.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that oftentimes the younger you are, the heavier those moments feel.
Yeah.
You know, if you think back to when we're little, we can be overwhelmed by something as simple as like a math test.
Right.
Right? Let alone something as extreme as domestic violence. Right? And as we grow, that stuff, it's really, really sticky. It's really, really sticky, but it doesn't mean it has to define you. And I'm just always so inspired by those stories where you can just sort of take that stickiness and accept that, yeah, at one point, in one moment, in one heavy moment, it was part of you. But it doesn't have to be a trajectory that's taking us to this sort of negative void. There is a way out. I know that it's really easy for someone like me to say that.
No.
But I still, with all of my heart, as cliche as it may be, feel that no matter how heavy the moment, we as human beings were given the potential to push those moments off of us. And those can be really defining moments. They don't have to be bad. They can define a positive trajectory, no matter how much.
Great answer. I know TikTok's waiting on you to resume the music. They did not want to keep hearing us talking, and I won't stay up here long either. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Keep the music flowing.
Thank you.